Today's video is brought to you by The Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship, the new cooperative Middle-earth board game. Each playthrough is a new experience as you chart your own course in an effort to destroy the ring and bring down Sauron. Welcome to Nerd of the Rings. Today we tackle the question, what if Aragorn claimed the One Ring? As with all of our theory videos, we must first determine the most logical point of deviation from the canon tale. While some may say that clearly this moment should be when Frodo offers the ring to Aragorn at Amon Hen, this is only in the films. In the books, a variation of this happens much earlier, all the way back in Rivendell, when Frodo finds out who the mysterious Strider truly is. "He is Aragorn, son of Arathorn," said Elrond, "and he is descended through many fathers from Isildur, Elendil's son of Minas Ithil. He is the chief of the Dunedain in the north, and few are now left of that folk." "Then it belongs to you, and not me at all," cried Frodo in amazement, springing to his feet, as if he expected the ring to be demanded at once.
"It does not belong to either of us," said Aragorn, "but it has been ordained that you should hold it for a while." And indeed, Frodo would bear the ring through the days to come. But what circumstance could lead to Aragorn taking the ring himself? In my mind, there is only one: the death of the ring-bearer. Perhaps this could take place in the chaos of Amon Hen, a stray arrow meant for Boromir striking Frodo instead, and that would be a solid starting point. However, I think the most likely point comes earlier, in the depths of Moria, where rather than stabbed in his mithril coat, Frodo is struck in the neck by a massive orc, killing him instantly. With a Balrog soon to enter the chamber of Mazarbul, there is no time to mourn the loss. Aragorn picks up Frodo's body as the company makes their escape. They continue their flight to the bridge of khazad-dum, where Gandalf has his standoff, just as in the canon tale. Outside the mountain, the remaining 7 members regroup, and at the recommendation and blessing of the dwarf Gimli, they bury Frodo alongside the Mirrormere. It was but a small thing, but that brief time of carrying the ring-bearer, really carrying the ring itself after all, Aragorn is led to placing it upon his own neck. They make their way to Lorien, where Galadriel warns of the dangers facing the Fellowship, and Aragorn in particular. She allows the mortal man to glimpse into her mirror. He sees a figure in white upon a long gray road. It then shows him Arwen, sitting in a room as rain falls in Rivendell. Then Minas Tirith, and fire, and war upon the plains. Like Frodo, he turns away as a great eye appears within the mirror. With the blessing and words of caution from the Lady of Lorien, the Fellowship departs just as they did in the canon story, making their way down the Anduin. And once again they would be attacked by Saruman's Uruks. However, there is a major difference. Boromir does not dare to take the ring from one such as Aragorn. Therefore, the company is all together when the orcs come. The battle is still chaos, and by sheer numbers, the orcs are successful in snatching the 3 hobbits. However, fighting together, the remaining 4 all survive. We know that there were well over 100 orcs in this attack. Their captain, Ugluk, and a company of orcs make off with their prey, while the rear guard stays to fight the warriors to the death. Thus, after their victory, the 4 hunters begin their great pursuit across the plains of Rohan. Through their deeds and battle, the mutual respect among the group only grows, with Boromir seeing within Aragorn a power and splendor he cannot help but admire. Here our story plays out quite similarly to the canon tale for some time. The hunters meet Éomer, then the newly resurrected Gandalf the White. Merry and Pippin,
Now accompanied by Sam, meet Treebeard. Theoden is healed, and just as in the canon tale, the Rohirrim are victorious at Helm's Deep, albeit now with an additional mighty warrior in Boromir. With Saruman neutralized and a Palantir in their possession, Aragorn and the company make their way toward Rohan. The Grey Company arrives, giving Aragorn the standard made by Arwen, and recommending he take the paths of the dead. However, the ring has begun to work on Aragorn's heart. He has won great victories, and as he originally planned to do, he will be making his way to Gondor with Boromir. In Minas Tirith, he will be in a place of strength. Aragorn is accompanied by Boromir, Legolas, Gimli, and Pippin. For the Fool of a Took, even in this tale, looked into the Palantir. The big difference is Gandalf. As the ring continues to subtly work on Aragorn, he realizes Gandalf is the greatest obstacle to his own plans to destroy the ring, eventually. He instead asks Gandalf to aid the Rohirrim in mustering their forces at Dunharrow, for their help will be needed in the days to come. We perhaps get a glimpse at what Aragorn may be thinking of and capable of with the ring when we look at what Boromir envisioned in the Fellowship of the Ring. When he's alone with Frodo, he declares, "The ring would give me power of command. How I would drive the hosts of Mordor, and all men would flock to my banner." Boromir strode up and down, speaking ever more loudly. Almost he seemed to have forgotten Frodo, while his talk dwelt on walls and weapons and the mustering of men, and he drew plans for great alliances and glorious victories to be. And he cast down Mordor and became himself a mighty king, benevolent and wise. And just so does Aragorn ride to Minas Tirith, his banner unfurled, displaying the standard of Elendil, the standard of a king. No longer is he the humble ranger who would camp outside the city, and with dark times brewing around Gondor, he is welcomed by the people, who see his splendor and believe the return of the king is a sign that they shall prove victorious. While Denethor is certainly not pleased at one coming to take control of his city and his realm, he is wise, and he knows he cannot risk civil war during such a perilous time. Instead, he will bide his time. Ironically, we now have Aragorn revealing himself to Sauron within the Palantir while in Minas Tirith, rather than on the outskirts of Isengard. So in the same manner as the films, rather than the books. As Aragorn says in the canon tale, "I spoke no word to him, and in the end I retched the stone to my own will. That alone he will find hard to endure. And he beheld me. If that will aid him, then I have done ill, but I do not think so. To know that I lived and walked the earth was a blow to his heart, I deem, for he knew it not till now." In our theory, he then goes on to say a similar line to his canon counterpart. "But Sauron has not forgotten Isildur and the sword of Elendil. Now in the very hour of his great designs, the heir of Isildur and the sword and the ring are revealed. For I showed the ruling ring to him, and the blade that cut it from his very hand, reforged. He is not so mighty yet that he is above fear. Nay, doubt ever gnaws him." But would Aragorn possessing the ring cause Sauron fear? The answer is given to us by Gandalf himself in the canon story. "Indeed, he is in great fear, not knowing what mighty one may suddenly appear wielding the ring and assailing him with war, seeking to cast him down and take his place. That we should wish to cast him down and have no one in his place is not a thought that occurs to his mind." While no doubt thoughts of Gandalf, Galadriel, or Elrond taking the ring are most obvious, Gandalf also implies Aragorn would have had strength enough to wield it. Now Sauron knows all this, and he knows that this precious thing which he lost has been found again, but he does not yet know where it is.
or so we hope, and therefore he is now in great doubt. For if we have found this thing, there are some among us with strength enough to wield it. That too he knows. For do I not guess rightly, Aragorn, that you have shown yourself to him in the Stone of Orthanc?
Just as in the canon tale, where Sauron believes the ring to have traveled to Gondor, he launches his attack upon Minas Tirith. And in the hour of darkness, Aragorn fully comes to wield the One Ring, using it to inspire the people of Gondor in the coming defense of their city. All the while, the simmering resentment of Denethor grows and passes to his son, Boromir. The siege of Minas Tirith begins. Aragorn leads the defense alongside mighty warriors like Boromir, Legolas, Gimli, and Imrahil. And while there is no white wizard to help protect the city, the Nazgul will not directly attack one who wields the ring with such authority. Just as Tolkien once said, if Frodo had truly claimed the ring at Mount Doom. This results in a prolonged siege, with the Witch King not putting spells of power upon Grond, slowing their success. In time, a full muster of the Rohirrim descends upon the battlefield, led by Theoden and Gandalf the White. The Rohirrim are used to great effect, overrunning the great host of Mordor. And along with Merry and Sam, Éowyn slays the Witch King on the plains of Pelennor. However, they are soon joined by the Corsair ships, for they were not driven off by the army of the dead. And just as an evenly matched battle is set to play out, a new army arrives. That from the Black Gate, and led by Sauron himself. He has come to ensure his army's victory, and perhaps, with the 9 rings in his possession, to bend the Nazgul back to his full will. In a desperate move, Aragorn leads a force out of Minas Tirith, in hopes of aiding the Rohirrim and destroying Mordor once and for all. Yet the ring and his father's words have fully seized Boromir. If he were to command, this would not all be falling apart. He would make a far greater king than this Ranger of the North. His attempt to strike down Aragorn in the chaos, however, is futile, and the King of Gondor kills the son of the Steward. In the confusion that follows of Gondorian against Gondorian, Sauron makes his move, attacking and bringing great destruction to Aragorn's forces. Aragorn comes face to face with the Dark Lord, and Tolkien gives us a very good indication of what would transpire in this very instance. He once said that of all mortals, none, not even Aragorn, could hope to withhold the ring from Sauron. And Gandalf states in The Return of the King, "Indeed, it can be used only by one master alone, not by many. And he will look for a time of strife, ere one of the great among us makes himself master and puts down the others. In that time the ring might aid him, if he were sudden." Thus, in that hour, amid the confusion and turmoil caused by the One Ring and Aragorn's slaying of Boromir, Sauron strikes down Aragorn and is reunited with his greatest weapon. Now Sauron's full might is unleashed upon the fields of Pelennor. No horseman of Rohan, no elven prince, stout-hearted dwarf, nor even a white wizard can stand against him. The will and domination of Sauron spreads across all Middle-earth, bringing about a new age of darkness. Clearly, putting the ring in Aragorn's hands makes things turn out quite differently for Middle-earth. But thankfully, you can help the outcome be much better when you play The Lord of the Rings: Fate of the Fellowship. It's a brand new cooperative board game where your fellowship of characters has to help Frodo reach Mount Doom. It features some great artwork of your favorite characters, plus the great dice tower of Barad-dûr. Visit the link in the description and order your copy of The Lord of the Rings: Fate of the Fellowship. As always, I want to say a huge thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube supporters who make this channel possible. CCDC Red Team, Evil Chameleon, Tom DeBombadil 19, Lissamy the Cinda, Rabbi Rob Thomas, Charles Leisure, Joe Tepper, The Mighty Mim, Andrew Carlisle, Swirled Traveler, Matthew Jeffrey, Viking Lord, Alvin Einbert, Jeremy Daniel Derby, Madame Director, Freya Firestar, Chris and Meg Q, Leo Vittori, Sky Carcass, Slide Belts, Dane Ragnarsson, Berto Berg, Graham Derricott, The Dark-Haired One, Wyland, Kiara Berlin, Z and N, Evely, Kia, Micah Wu, and Debbie. If you enjoyed the artwork in this video, check out the artists in the description to purchase prints of their great work for yourself. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Nerd of the Rings.